If you want to save yourself some time and not watch the entire video, the basic conclusion is Season 2 of Outer Banks is trash. Yo, what's going on, you guys? You already know my name is Strozier, and you already know what this video is going to be about. Some of y'all may have seen me in the last video that I made about Outer Banks, and I will have to say, Season 2 of Outer Banks is nowhere near as enjoyable as the first season of Outer Banks. I don't know if that was because during last season it came out during quarantine, but this season was kind of boring and difficult to watch. There are 4 main problems with this season of Outer Banks, and I will thoroughly explain what those problems are. And after my little rant, I will give you the only 2 good things about Outer Banks and rank this season out of 10 points. So sit back, relax, watch the entire video before you dislike and crucify me in the comment section. Now obviously, there are going to be a lot of spoilers. Magical convenience. Anytime there was conflict during the season, the characters conveniently and almost magically overcame whatever problem they faced. Here's some examples. When Sarah was getting drowned by Rafe, Topper came out of thin air to save her life after not really being involved in the season much at all. Cleo and her 2 accomplices kind of disappeared during the beginning of the season and we weren't really sure where they went. Then Cleo very conveniently happened to be working on the same boat that they had hijacked to get the cross. When JJ was stealing the ambulance and he was caught in that police chase, and then he texts Kiara and Pope to like, come save me, and then they just appeared pretty much about 2 seconds later. That was quite convenient. Y'all remember when Sarah got shot and that sketchy doctor saved her life? And then about 2 hours after her little surgery, she started walking, and then 2 episodes later, her shot wound was completely healed by the grace of God. Very, very convenient and quite unrealistic. I could go on for another 10 minutes about all the magically convenient moments that happened pretty much during any moment of conflict throughout this season. Corny emotional moments. There were quite a few moments during the season that were supposed to invoke some sort of emotion out of the viewer, but those moments seemed more anticlimactic than anything else. Example 1, when Ward blew up on that boat. First off, the CGI on that was awful, and pretty much anytime they incorporated CGI throughout this season, it was quite bad. But during that moment, there wasn't much emotion invoked in you because throughout last season and this season, you were made to hate Ward because he was a villain. The moment when Pope was in the church after Rafe and Rainfield had stolen the cross from them, he kind of did like that little generic superhero speech, which should have been a very climatic moment, but it was just a corny moment. Also, JJ's near-death moment during the very last episode. I mean, it was pretty obvious that he wasn't going to die based off the show's convenience during dire moments, but the reveal that he was hit with the dull side of the blade of the machete was a prime example of the magical convenient moments that I had mentioned earlier. The foreshadowing between Kiara and Rafe. Now, if you remember from the first season, or if you watched my last video, you would know about the foreshadowing between Kiara and Rafe. It was shown that they had a history between each other, but that was not expounded upon during the season at all, which was very, very disappointing because Kiara's character is kind of useless again this season as she was last season. For the most part, all Kiara does is just get overly emotional. And not to mention, she ruined the biggest chance that they had of imprisoning Ward when Pope was catching him on camera making the deal with that officer and moments later killing him. I just hope they do a lot better with Kiara's character in the 3rd season because she definitely needs a much needed re-up. Useless drama leading to nothing. Throughout this season, many of the intense moments had little to no negative effect on the main objective. Example, oh no, John B got bit by an alligator. Well, good thing he's okay now. Kiara drowning in that little sewer. I mean, once again, quite obvious that they weren't gonna kill her off that early on in the season. Kiara and Pope's relationship that lasted about 4 episodes, I feel like it was only for like fanfare because a lot of times people like to ship different characters. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure people will enjoy that, but it just kind of seemed redundant because it was very, very short-lived. I also predict that Kiara will end up with JJ and that Pope will end up with Cleo. And also the really big fight that broke out at the annual bonfire. At least in the first season, that fight really did change the course of the entire show. At least in the first season, every dramatic moment, whether big or small, greatly affected the characters that were involved as the show progressed. The only 2 good things about season 2 of Outer Banks. Rafe and Pope carried this season on their backs. I mean, Netflix needs to get those boys a sponsorship with Icy Hot or something because I know their back's hurting. As for Pope, it was mainly his mission with the cross and the key that made him interesting rather than him as a character. Pretty much his mission kind of made the overall season interesting. And as for Rafe, I mean, in my last video, make sure you go watch it, I had mentioned that he was the most underrated character in the show. And in this season, he is the absolute best character in the show. His mental stability worsened as each episode progressed, which made his screen time so interesting and really pulled you in. Apart from Rafe as a character, Drew Starkey will definitely have a promising career as an actor. They casted him, whoever did it, they just did a wonderful job. Like, he is absolutely killer, and I hope to see him in many more movies and shows as his career progresses. So when it comes to my rating of this year's season of Outer Banks, thank you guys so much for watching. I want to try to hit maybe 50 likes since my last video and I did an Outer Banks did exceptionally well. Definitely leave some comments about the things that you did like or disliked about this season. Did you agree with my problems that I had with it? And who was your favorite character? Who was your least favorite character? Please let me know, because I love having dialogues with you guys in the comments. And as always, remember to stay productive and don't act stupid. Semi-automatic, wow. Nunca paro, se pone en estático.